Hello everyone and welcome to Spring, and I'd like to introduce you to a new series of films quite unlike anything I've done before, and I'm going to take you all the way through the Tarot Wheel of the Year. So working with astrology, the tarot and the Tree of Life, I've come up with this system whereby we look at the whole year in 10-day periods. So this is going to be the very first film, and a little bit later on I will introduce in more detail the rationale and the understanding behind all this. However, that's not the appropriate thing to do right now, because what's right now appropriate to do is to tune into the energies of spring, the first day of spring. And I'm going to show you this through looking at the cards and through working with this transformation process to get you fully in touch. So whilst I was in the Black Depression and working up this idea, my rational mind came in with various thoughts and ideas, and I could summarize all those thoughts as blah blah blah. You know what it's all about, blah blah blah, you've heard it all before, exactly. And then when the energy started to reach me, as literally the sun moves out of the 30th degree of Pisces into the 1st degree of Aries, the energy suddenly flooded my being and I feel fantastic. So I'm going to share all this with you now, so off we go. So here we go. This is the first card, and it's called the Two of Wands, and you can see the word at the bottom of the card is Dominion. So let's just take half a step back and explain. The Wheel of the Year for astrology, for the zodiac, begins at this time of year, which is around the 20th, 21st of March. And what we have is we have the length of the night equal to the length of the day. It only ever happens twice in the year, literally for one day in the spring and one day in the autumn. 12-12, that's what we've got right now. And that sense of balance gives us an extra charge of power, because we've got the balance of the light and the dark in our lives right here, right now. So looking at this card has got these two wands which are crossed over each other. And the Dominion card is all about being in dominion of yourself, in charge of yourself, responsible for who you are and what you choose to do in your day. So let's take a step back again and look at this card, which is called the Emperor. So this is the card which is attributed to Aries. Aries is the first of the 12 signs of the zodiac. Some people think of the qualities of Aries as being a baby. I find it much more helpful to think of Aries as the cosmic child, the one who comes into the universe and says, I am. And that's the powerful statement that all Arieses are making in their lives, whether they are consciously aware of it or not. So here we are, there's the card, the Emperor, which gives us more imagery about the qualities of Aries. So Aries is the new, the pioneer, the right here, right now, let's do it now, why bother to wait approach to life. And indeed it's this pioneering quality which is responsible for many significant innovations in the world. So what we're going to do with each one of these cards is we're going to go looking at the traditional card, and then I'm going to take you through the process of transubstantiation using the element of water in what is called the Astro Tarot process, which there is already a film about on this channel if you wish to examine it in more detail. So the Dominion card is related to the card which I'm going to show you next, and it's this one here. You can see the number on it as 35. So these two colours are the representation of that Dominion card that we saw earlier, and we're going to use this process with the water to transform the Dominion card into its most highly evolved state, which we're going to be able to look at as we go through this process. And just before I do, I'm going to show you yet another card, and this is something that is underlying the entire approach for this series of films, and it's the Sun. So this tarot card, the Sun, reminds me that the Sun is in Aries at this time of year. That's what it means when we say someone is born in the sign Aries. What we actually mean is that the Sun is in the constellation of Aries, and that lasts for 30 days. And in that 30-day period, it's divided into 3 periods of 10 days, and we call these decanates. So here we are in spring, first day of spring, first decanate of Aries, which is about dominion. The second decanate is virtue, and the third decanate is completion. We'll get to explore all these through these 3 short films. So I go back to this image of the sun to remind myself the sun is exalted in Aries. The sun is very happy to be in this place, and I'm personally exalted by the fact that the sun has been streaming through the window of the bathroom where I'm making this film. So what we need to do this transubstantiation process is you need a glass. It needs to be clean, and you need to put the best quality water you can into this glass. So let's just give you time to do that. So I'm all set up to do this transubstantiation process with you. So this is the card we're working on. It's the 2 of Wands, and we have the card up with the colours shown, and the glass of water, spring water freshly poured, is then placed onto the glass, onto the card like so. And using the power of the word and the power of my intent, I'm going to put the colours on that card into the water. And this is how we do it. So we say these 3 times, and here comes the image of the words for you to be able to say them. So you've got the image of the card, you've got the glass placed on the card, and the final step to do is to place the hands on the glass while saying these words. Through the powers of fire, air, water and earth, with my intent, I charge the water in this glass with the colours on this card for the purposes of healing and transformation. Indeed it is so. Through the powers of fire, air, water and earth, with my intent, I charge the water in this glass with the colours on this card for the purposes of healing and transformation. Indeed it is so. Through the powers of fire, air, water and earth, with my intent, I charge the water in this glass with the colours on this card for the purposes of healing and transformation. Indeed it is so. Now what I do is I take up the glass and I drink the water, and at the same time as I'm doing that, I'm going to read the words that are the transformation of this card. Kindness. I am in a transformational process, and as I transform myself, I offer others the possibility of transformation. I am in a transformational process, and as I transform myself, I offer others the possibility of transformation. I am in a transformational process, and as I transform myself, I offer others the possibility of transformation. And as I read those words out to myself, I turned the card over to see the other side. And these are the evolved, transformed qualities of the Dominion card. So the Dominion begins with a sense of self, coming into the world as Aries, which is I am, and transforming that into recognizing the process of transformation I am in constantly, and knowing that as I transform myself, this automatically offers other people the possibility to do exactly the same thing themselves. So just to make it perfectly clear, the idea would be with these sort of films is that you take a photograph or you print off the images of these cards so you can work with them in the same way as I'm doing with a glass of water in this manner. So we're going to use exactly the same process to transform each of the cards that we go through. And as there's 3 10 degrees is in each, 30 degrees for each sign, that means we're going to be working with a total of 36 cards throughout the year. And it's going to take us a whole year to do this process, which is just incredibly exciting. So some more key words to understand a bit deeper about this card. Remember, the name is kindness. So it's all about transformation, it's about detachment, it's about unconditional love in the service of others, and it's about love from above, love from the cosmos, love from all around. It's about deep caring and transformation. As we accept ourselves more consciously, we allow more in the acceptance of others, a deep sense of wholeness and love from above and from all around. So I invite you to take this playfully. Just think of the Sun card. There it is again. Playful intent. That's the intention I have for this series of films. So it's an opportunity to explore astrology, the zodiac, the tarot, and this transformation process. And I thank the designers of the Aura-Soma tarot deck and the Aura-Soma Equilibrium resource cards for providing me with the wherewithal to offer this to you. So just one more thing I'm going to throw in, which is about the time of year. So I did mention already that from my perspective, and this is the perspective of some people who are really tuned into astrology, the year begins on the Spring Equinox, which is today. And today is the 20th of March, and it's actually around midday that the shift takes place, just slightly before actually, from the Sun being in Pisces to the Sun being in Aries. And that's going to last all the way through until the 31st, when we move into the second decanate, and that is the card Virtue, and then we move from that into the third decanate, and we do that on the 10th of April, and that will take us all the way through until the 20th of April. So having done this transformation of the Two of Wands into kindness, then the obvious question you could ask is, okay, so now I've done that, what do I do? And the answer is you do what touches, moves and inspires you. And because I'm so tuned into the fact that this is the first day of spring, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to plant some seeds. I'm going to sow some seeds into the soil. And I'm going to do this literally. And we can also do this in other ways too. So here I am, putting my seeds into the soil, sowing my seeds, and feeling really great about so doing. These are actually lettuce seeds I'm sowing into this row, into the soil in my garden. And you can also do this metaphorically, looking at the bigger picture. Every time you say kind words to someone, you're sowing seeds, you're sowing the seeds of kindness within them. So that's what this process is all about. Let's have some fun, let's be playful, and let's do something to make a difference in the world. So kindness is a great thing to do, to manifest in any way, shape or form. Sowing seeds, just a smile, a few words, that's all it takes. Big love to you all. Thank you.